Hello, and I'd like to introduce you to Dad Apps _33. Now, this is a player who is forever alone in his own squadron, which, you know, whatever, Chinese player, whatever you want to do. Fairly high level account. It's a 8,000-ish battle account. He's not got the greatest record in the world, but, I mean, we've discovered this before, that KD does not really matter when it comes to cheaters, because cheaters are, in general, pretty garbage. What's funny about this player is I marked this player down, like, almost a year ago. Now, I never did a video about him originally because back then I was kind of just not trying to focus on certain things. I was trying to focus on very obvious cheaters. I think back then this player was being very subtle. Now, as of recently, according to the couple of the replays I've looked at and the player that I'm questioning now, is that this is already fairly obvious. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, I never use a rangefinder, obviously at high tier. Do you play like this? I guarantee you don't. Like, at all. Now, I understand bino sniping's a thing, but this is not bino sniping. This is consistent hitting without ever using a laser rangefinder over a hill, through a bunch of trees, and you still can't see it. So yes, I understand it's possible to not use a laser rangefinder or a rangefinder in general at certain BRs, but this ain't it, chief. Now, like I said before, I had this player marked down about a year ago, and if I actually search my comments for, you know, whatever worth that they will do, because replays really don't work, or comments don't really work that well when it comes to searching for specific names, I have one being reported about a year ago, and I think that's when I marked down actually in my spreadsheet that I have for specific players. But I find it funny that back then, when I looked at the replay, I noted that it was a very subtle replay and it was hard to tell back then, which is what I normally note down in my notes. This player is now being very obvious, and I'm not really surprised by this anymore because it is just that blatantly obvious that this player is cheating. And you can see him staring directly at this guy over here, making it as painfully obvious as possible. So it shouldn't be that. I mean, granted, you can now see the guy. That makes perfect sense. I can see him. But it just puts me off. Like, I very much understand that, yes, most cases, you never need to use a laser rangefinder. I completely understand how that works, guys. But on your first try, you're generally not 100% accurate, even at these BRs. If you watch any CC, like, I'll give you a great example. Justin Plays is probably one of my favorite ones to watch. At higher BR, or higher ranges, because he plays a lot of high tier, at higher ranges, he'll play, you know, he got overpressured here on the roof. That's awesome. At higher tiers, he uses his laser rangefinder because he wants to be sure. These guys never do that because they're always sure of their ranges. So I guarantee all these people in my comment section are like, well, I never use a laser rangefinder. I guarantee you do. Because no person just doesn't use their rangefinder. If you have a rangefinder, you generally tend to use it because it's a convenience and you want to use it. So it's very easy to use because it's a convenience to have available. Okay? If you want to argue otherwise, put a video on a channel and show you that you never use it, and prove it until the end of time because you clearly never use it. So, yeah. But, yeah, to me, this guy is obviously fairly obvious now because now he's in this vehicle and he's aiming at 900 meters. This guy is 900 meters away, and he's looking at the exact 900 meter range without laser rangefinder. And he's following some sort of tracker because he's following whatever momentum thing is right here, and he hits a tree. Because these guys never know how this works, and they always just assume it's fine. Also, he's using HEVT as his main round because he doesn't know how that works either, and then he gets blown up. So, as always, I'll leave you on this because this was a fairly easy one because, like I said, in the old ones, he was very not obvious. So, appreciate your reply. This is going to be in a future video. As always, I hope you have the rest of your morning, day, evening, or night. Have a good one.